CNN had a bunch of Donald Trump supporters on, and Susan DeLumis spoke near the end, and she seemed a little unhinged. But I think it's going to tell us two telling things about Donald Trump supporters. Let's watch.
We've got people in positions of power who I know for a fact are liars. Liars. I watch the TV. My president comes on the TV and he lies to me. I know he's lying. He lies all the time.
Look for him.
I don't believe any one of them, not one. I believe Donald.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, he says what I'm thinking.
Exactly.
Never been involved in politics, never had an interest in any of it. Now suddenly he is resonating. He is resonating with the people, and he's speaking our minds, our minds. When the pundits and the experts and all the people who are supposed to be in the know and know all this stuff, and they're so great, I know some of them, maybe not all, but some of them are lying to me straight to my face, and I am so sick of it.
I know it. Some of them, not all of them, but they're lying to me. I know, it's creepy, and she looks super weird. But I got a negative and a positive out of it. Let me start with the obvious negative first. When she says he's speaking our minds, she's basically saying, like, when he attacks the Mexicans and the Muslims and all these things, he's kind of saying what we've been thinking, but we didn't know that it was okay to say it. And you can see the other supporters in the room, and you can hear them going like, oh, yeah, exactly, man. That stuff was top of mind. I mean, what the hell with the Muslims, right? And he says it, unlike you pundits that are just dancing around and being politically correct. That is part of what's resonating. But I think the larger issue, one that I'm actually going to put a positive spin on, is what a lot of the media is missing here. She's right. Her politicians are lying to her. Almost all of them are. So, I mean, obviously she seems dead set against the president, but does the president lie about certain things? Of course! So my guess is her and I would disagree on which of the politicians lie more, but they're politicians. They're all lying to some degree, if not to an enormous degree. Most of the country knows that. They take it as fact. But when you turn on the TV, the pundits and the media pretend as if none of the politicians ever lie. Oh, the honorable gentleman from Connecticut said this, and the honorable gentle lady from Missouri said that, and they're having a debate of ideas. No, they're not. They all got checks from different groups. One of them got a check from the union, so he does what the union tells him to do. The other one got a check from mega corporations, so he does what they tell him to do. They're not having a debate. That was already settled. Everything they're saying on TV is a lie. So if they were honest about it, Lindsey Graham would come on and go, we have got to have more ground troops in Syria because I'm getting most of my campaign contributions from Lockheed Martin and other defense contractors. See, that would be honest. They're never going to do that. So when anyone seems vaguely honest, which Donald Trump, even if he isn't telling the truth, has the feeling of honesty because he's being so brazen in what he says, people go, oh, thank God. At least some people do. I mean, I wish they'd be a little bit more sophisticated and realize that his answers aren't very nuanced or correct in terms of policy positions. Doesn't look like she cares much about that. But her concern that her politicians are lying to her is a concern that almost everybody in America has, and the media refuses to acknowledge. And part of the reason they refuse to acknowledge that is because they get paid so much money by all the political ads that those politicians run. So they're invested into that system, so they don't want to tell you that that system is a fraud. So even though she looks a little maniacal, come on, anybody can see that, her frustration is felt by a lot of people in the political spectrum. And since it's being bottled up by the media, it's being expressed in unhealthy ways like Donald Trump. So you've got to realize that's what's happening in the country. And if you want to fix that, there is a real answer for that and a cure for that. It's called the truth.